when I didn't do it willingly, I get very angry and then try to do something about it.
Why don't we talk about that?
I don't.
Give me an example of this for whether she was getting the reaction, because she knew she was unattractive, so it never bothered her. And she talked like a doctor. You know, she talked about Johnny Belinda and how they put.
She was wonderful in that.
Yeah, and she said she looked at the dailies and she said it's not right. And they said why? Because she said I could hear a little bit and it's not right on the face. And then she had them put these lead things in her head so that she couldn't hear anything. And then when she saw the dailies, she said, yeah, okay, I'm deaf. I look like I can't hear. So that's right. So I'll wear it. But she sounds like a doctor in going over that. And she said, well,
God, what precision.
She said, I never had to worry about the way I look because I was never pretty. So I knew that
Well, I find many actresses, who are, say, my age, who, during their early days, never thought they were pretty. And I remember feeling the same way. I never thought I was pretty. I would always say, Lizabeth, you're interesting, but you're not pretty.
Tell me about why the dailies, why you wouldn't look.
Oh, when I did, I saw the dailies. I did never, we discussed this earlier, but I didn't go to the dailies except once. But the thing that actually turned me off originally was the test I made for Warner Brothers. And they invited me to see the test, and I went in to see it, and I was astonished. First of all, I didn't recognize the girl. I didn't recognize the voice. I didn't like her looks. I didn't like her voice. I didn't like anything about her. And I left absolutely humiliated, thinking, I'm certainly not the girl I thought I was. So, I went, all right, film. I finally started making films. And they said, but ask the question. I can always answer questions. But I don't, I wouldn't know where to start.
When you went to see your first screen test, what did it feel like?
When I went to see my first screen, oh God, I remember it vividly. I was invited to see it, and I was very excited about seeing it, of course. And then, of course, they began showing it. And I saw this strange girl up on the screen with this strange voice, with this peculiar walk, with the tilt of the head that I found abhorrent. Everything about the girl on the screen I disliked intensely. And I just wanted to take my jacket, which I had on, and just put it around my head and cease watching this devastating, terrible piece of film. But I didn't do that because there were other people looking at the same test that I was looking at. But I couldn't wait to extricate myself from the whole lot of them. My agent, my coach, etc., etc. Some of the people from Warner Brothers, this was on the Warner Brother lot, and I couldn't wait to get out of their presence because I was so embarrassed. I thought it was so bad, and I thought whoever this girl is, she should not be on the screen. She should go back and do what she always wanted to do, which was to be a great stage actress. But crazy as that seems, that's the truth.
And did you change her? Did you change yourself physically, or you didn't? When you went to do your first film, then you went to look at the dailies. What happened then?
Well, I did go to the dailies once, and my reaction wasn't quite as devastating as the one for my screen test, but I was a little unnerved, and I started analyzing too much. Did you like the way she entered? Did you like the way she left? Did you like that expression on her face? Did you? And there were too many questions. And that's very bad, psychologically, I think that's a very bad thing because it starts interfering with your work. I did notice the next morning when I came in, I would take into account the tilt of the head, the walk, all of this. Well, you can't do that if you're an actress. I mean, you have to do the scene. And to do the scene, you can concentrate. You can only focus on what you're doing. You cannot focus on a millennium of things like the hair, the shoulders, the walk, the squint, the whatever. So I found it, well, for me, it was best not to see the rushes, so I never did. And I'd always with trepidation, see the film when it was totally finished, scored, and ready to go. That was the only way I could tolerate seeing myself on the screen, strange as that may seem. And of course now, people often ask, they say, do you watch yourself on television? And of course I never do. Never. I've never seen myself on AMC or anything.
Why would that be?
I don't know. It's psychological. I don't know what it has to do with. I mean, I think if I went to analysis for about 10 years, I'd find out the whys and the wherefores, but I certainly can't tell them to you now.
Well, I know that Charlton Heston told me that he thought it was very interesting. That the only actress he ever appeared with who never wore makeup was Jennifer Jones, and yet she would never, ever look at herself. She wouldn't look at a still. She couldn't bear what she looked like.
Isn't
Yet she
that
wouldn't wear
interesting?
makeup. He said, I could see her blush. There was
How very interesting. I didn't know her very well. I know she's doing a lot of work now, at the museum.
Right. And people also say that Ava Gardner just never, ever thought she was attractive, and everybody thought she was the most.
Well, as I told you earlier, most actresses never thought they were. In retrospect, every actress that thought that way during those early days will go back and maybe look at a still, maybe if they can, look at a film, and they'll query themselves. They'll say, my God, was I that attractive? Why didn't I know it? Why did I deny it? Why didn't I see it? Sort of thing. I don't know. It's just human nature, I think.
Well, let's just go on to just a couple of other things. What's the kind of as you've gone on in your life and you've stayed in this town? It's interesting. You didn't go back to New York once you decided not to make films anymore.
No.
You stayed out here. So, I mean, it would seem to me with your intellect that you would go back east or something like that.
Well, I do. I go back east occasionally. I see the plays. I see people I know.
Have you ever thought of teaching like Jean Arthur went and taught at Radcliffe?
Well, how strange that you should say that. Are you psychic? I'm not kidding. Because I may start teaching at USC, a class in cinema. But someone invited me. I haven't said no, nay, or yes. But I'm considering it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be that disciplined, even though I am a highly structured and disciplined person. But that occurred about 2 weeks ago. Would you like to teach a cinema class at USC? How strange. You frighten me, Carole.